But that's the whole tragic point, my friend.
With our dear friend, Giovanny Ramirez.
Brova.
Giovanny Ramirez. What up, baby? Welcome.
Bless.
It's an honor to be here on your first show, right?
It's our first, but we get it. You know what I mean?
Honored. I think I've grown up with most of you guys, and I think I really love getting inspired by the people that are in my life from when I was a young kid.
Right.
And all of a sudden, like, they're doing things that really are for the community, and for me, you know, I grew up looking up to Fernando.
Nice.
And it's incredible for me to see that.
See that?
So Giovanny.
Tell the story. It's a real story. So we're out with a peep squeak.
So all right. So we had a conversation, right? And I was touched by the conversation. I figured, you know what, this would be like so dope if you just came up and shared the story. Because to me, for you guys who don't know what you're about to get into, let me explain something to you. Usually when we reach a path, we don't know what that path is, and it kind of makes it hard to like journey through it, right? Sometimes we need keywords. Sometimes we need a helping hand. You know, we need the proper attire, and we don't know, you know, how to attain these things. So here you go, and I would like the people to see you from this light that I know you're about to like show them what they are. So once again, Giovanny Ramirez, man, like tell the people who like your story, like where it stemmed from.
You know, it's interesting. So I've been career coaching for like ever now. But it seems like forever. I've probably helped over like 75 to 80 people go on to the next level of their career or whatever they wanted to do. But I was telling Fernando where that all came from is the night that I was left dead on the street of Stamford, Connecticut. And back in 2009, when I'm at literally one of the lowest points of my life, where, you know, I was working in a finance job, and we all know what happened in 2008 with the economy collapse.
Yeah.
And then, you know, with that, I lost a good relationship that I was in for 7 years. My health started going down the drain, and it's 2009, and I'm trying to, you know, hustle my way back and get my career started and going in the right direction. And I'm at a party. I go outside to call a taxi. I knew I had drank a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And, you know, a couple guys approach me, and long story short, I get jaded or I get hit with something. All they wanted to do was take my cell phone, right?
Damn,
So I get left
crazy.
for dead on West Avenue in Stamford, Connecticut. And it's like probably 1 o'clock, and I come up. It's like 3:30 in the morning. When I wake up my eyes, and I'm like, when I wake up, you know, I open my eyes, I'm like, where am I, right? And so turns out I had a broken jaw that night, and I walked myself to the hospital. And you know, I just realized that life, it's so fickle, right?
Right.
We could be here today and gone tomorrow. And I tell people that the difference between life and death is like a foot. The divider in the middle of the road, if someone just falls asleep on the opposite side and they hit you face forward, you're probably gonna be hurt. And if not, you're gonna be hurt for a very long time and possibly, you know, end up dead. And so that's how close we are to death every day.
That's true.
Yeah, so I said, you know what, I wanna live the most valuable life that I could and can have while I'm still here.
Right.
And you know, there were a couple things that I had done in my career where I had done really, really well, and I realized that every time I went to an interview, I got the job offer. Every time. When I graduated, I went to 5 different interviews, had five different jobs.
Why do you think that was, though?
You know, I learned a system to communicate, and I learned that naturally, and now I teach that to people. And that's called
so you have a system.
Yeah, there's a system. I actually figured it out later on in life when I sold myself into a job I had no clue what to do in. You know, and I was working with software and doing statistical analysis, and I'm like,
Oh, wow.
how did I get myself into this
Hold
job?
up. So you got a system, right?
Uh-huh.
So you trying to tell me right now you willing to share some of that system that you have?
100%.
Really?
100%.
What is this system?
All
I'm
right.
curious.
So when I realized I kept getting job offers, right? Number one was I was doing the right things on my resume to get the opportunity. And when I got the opportunity, I was communicating in a system that I did not know yet existed. And so in 2012, I'm sitting in this job that I know, I had to learn from square one, right? Because I sold myself into it. And I was doing pretty well, but it was 4 months of craziness and 8 months of not doing anything. And I said, I gotta do something with this spare time. And so I looked back at the patterns of my life,
Right.
and I realized I'm always getting these jobs. Like, what the heck am I doing? Went back, read all the books. Turns out there's a system called STAR, and it's a way to communicate in a job setting. And STAR stands for Situation, Target, Action, Results. And some of the biggest things that you get asked in an interview is behavioral questions. You know,
Sure.
past behavior equals, probably future behavior. That's
Gotcha.
what the employer is looking for.
All right. What about question? The results of your clients.
Oh, amazing! I can tell you, some clients they get it right away.
Right.
It's like half an hour. With other clients, I got to sit down 5 hours straight, and
Yeah.
I grade people with their answers. Like so, I just I have this natural way of knowing where you're at. So it's a scale from 1 to 10, and if you could hit me with a score of 7 to 10. Like, I don't want you to give me the perfect answer, because you're going to sell yourself into a position that you probably are going to fail at, right?
Right.
But I want you to answer honest to the question so that the interviewer knows where your skill set is at, and you sell yourself into a job where you're definitely you have the talent and the success to do it.
And how do they get involved, or how do they reach out to you? And is there a particular criteria that you're looking for before helping someone?
Because I've done this and I do it while growing my career and having my spare time. I'm very picky with the clients. So for example, like if Fernando said, "Hey, can you call my boy? I got this guy that's really struggling," I would tell him he has to call me.
I got a few of those for you. You know?
Yeah.
I got a few of those for you.
Yeah, because you know what, sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom, and that helps you check your ego. And once you check your ego, now you're open. It's like a wound. When you check your ego, it's because you've hit rock bottom, and now you got a wound, and you can let the medicine go in.
Yeah, you gotta find a way to heal.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I've been doing that for a while. I do personality testing.
Okay.
There's a system called Myers-Briggs, so I give people a personality test so we know your strengths and your weaknesses. And I just try to help as many people as possible. But
That's
they gotta be open.
Yeah, they gotta
Yeah.
be about it instead of talking about it. They have to be about it.
Yeah.
And I'm big on that. Like, you could talk all day. What's talking gonna do? You have to show action. I'm all
Exactly.
about action.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
that's interesting, and it's pretty cool because some people are at the bottom and they don't know how to come up from the bottom. They don't have anybody pushing them. They don't
Yeah.
have
There's
anybody
no means.
there's no motivation.
No motivation. Sorry.
So, do you find yourself around a lot of positive people? a lot?
Always.
Okay.
I always cut any negativity out of my life.
Good.
I think we all know that we've all been in certain situations where there's old friends or family members dragging us down.
Right.
And it's unfortunate, but I tell my clients, especially the ones that are not yet developed, that are just starting to think about self-development, hearing podcasts like the one we're on today.
Right.
I tell them, unfortunately, you want to soar with the eagles, right? And the pigeons got to get left behind. I'm sorry, 'cause the pigeons,
Real talk.
the pigeons in downtown,
Absolutely.
getting the little crumbs.
True story.
The pigeons
True
is
story.
downtown on K2.
Yo,
Right about now.
well, how do they find you? How would they find you?
So I have a website called intraviews.com. So it's intra-views, intra-views.com. I've been playing around with it, so it doesn't look as nice as it used to. But that's definitely a place where they can find me.
Right.
You can always. I'm really open on my Facebook. And I do have a Facebook page that I need to start showing some love to.
Oh.
So I got a lot of video content coming up, and I've been
You
practicing.
getting old, brother. You getting old. The older you get, the less you do on Facebook. Although they said Facebook is for the old heads now. I don't know if y'all heard that.
That's because a lot of us are our
That's
age.
what they saying.
I just.
I'm not old.
That's because a lot of us don't, you know what
Busy
I
on
mean?
Snapchat.
Oh, shit.
See, that's the,
Yeah.
you just said it.
But it's true, like I need to get on Snapchat.
Yeah, you need to
Like I
start.
opened it, and I was like,
Yeah.
I got off.
Well, you need to hire some one of them young teens that stay on that, you know what I mean? And then boom, there you go.
But it's true, it's
Like
true.
handle my page and they'll do it.
They will.
For sure.
They'll do it.
And you really never know who's gonna need help. I had a friend, is an IT guy. He's made like 100 plus his entire career, and he worked at a company for 10 years, right?
Right.
He tells me, I need to go buy a suit. This is the first time he's gonna buy a suit, you know? So it's nerdgasm, right? He's
All
nerd to the nth degree, right? And so I'm like, all right, like you never bought a suit, he's gonna do all the mistakes, like get the cuffs that are too long, the bagginess.
Leave the tag on the wrist.
Right.
Leave the tag on the
I'll
wrist.
see that.
Don't take the stitch.
Yeah,
Don't cut the stitch.
What would you prefer though? Would you prefer like a more loose suit or like something like I like fitted suits? You get me? Like I like my suits.
European
You know
style.
what I'm saying? Like I like
European style.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
fitted. Like I like those. Like for me.
Yeah, you know, but some people they can't fit into the Euro, and they try. You know, you see the button struggling.
I don't know, boy. Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, like I gain a little weight, so I put the tie on a little, and I just struggle the buttons.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'd rather that.
But you know what? But here, I say there's some interviews where they don't want you to wear a suit, right?
Mm.
But I always say, you know what? Wear the suit. If they're gonna judge you for wearing a suit, for wanting to look your best, do you really want to work there? You know?
That's what I was gonna talk to you about,
Uh-huh.
like you know, pinpoint, like you know, all interviews are always on first impressions.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
really believe in that?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. In
Okay.
fact, they say there's a book called 60-second interview, and most interviews are decided in the first 60 seconds.
Wow.
So within shaking the hand, them judging you by
Right.
your appearance,
Yeah.
and your smile and your charisma and the energy that you're giving in those first 60 seconds determine whether or not you're going to get the job.
If that's
What's
true,
up?
nobody in like I don't say nobody because it's harder now. Like you look at a lot of these teams, they don't even know how to shake a proper hand. A
No.
lot of them don't know how to tie ties.
No.
You
they
understand what
don't.
I'm saying?
They
So
don't.
seeing that and then seeing like what it is and what it could be, it's
Yeah.
kind of scary.
Here's the thing. You just said teens. I'm gonna keep it 100. I got a brother my age that I gave a job opportunity and got him an interview, and I was damn surprised when I seen him today show up not prepared. You know what I mean? I was like, yo, you too old to not know.
But you at the same time, you
it's
gotta watch
just-
you stick your neck out for it too at times, right?
True, but I'm speaking to the fact of that you would think it's just teens that's not
Right.
aware of how to go to an interview.
That's true,
But
too.
it's young adults and even old adults, if you would like to say, that just don't know. They were never taught, or they don't take it
Yeah.
as serious.
You think
know?
tying the tie is rare now? Like, I barely even see that.
Yeah, it's very rare now, and so if there are jobs that are going to judge you if you go way too far. They're going to think that you're not a culture fit, right?
Right.
Because you might be too uptight for the especially if you're in the technology field or these guys like to wear like
Right.
Super Mario Brothers t-shirts to work, right?
I'm a
And so I always say, if you're not going to wear the suit, at least go one level up, right? If the culture of the company, and there's a website called Glassdoor.com. So
Okay.
before you interview, you go to Glassdoor.com, you get all the reviews.
Glassdoor.
Yeah, Glassdoor.com. It's a great website. It's a good resource for you to understand how you're going to get interviewed with, or whether or not there's going to. A lot of times, there's people talking so much trash about the company on there that you're like,
That's another
I don't know if I want this, right?
You have to look at the reviews of the company.
Yeah.
They always do.
Yeah,
it's pretty
reviews are so
transparent.
big now, right? So big, and so you Glassdoor.com.
Y'all heard that, right? Glenn?
Yeah. So they say, oh, if you interview, they're only going to want you to wear a polo and khakis. Well, guess what? Instead of the polo, wear a button down. You know, that's it. A button
Okay.
down and khakis. Go always one step above.
Okay.
You know, than what the minimum
Expected.
that they require. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But going back to that guy that just last week where he got laid off after 10 years of the company. So he didn't know how to wear a suit, right? We went down to Macy's and with a budget of $200, We got him a full suit, fitted to his size, with the right shirt, with a new belt, with all the
Cufflinks and all that.
cufflinks, taking off the tags, all that. The next day he went to the interview. Now I haven't interviewed this guy, but he went there and they asked him a bunch of technical questions. Technical questions, you got to know your IT knowledge. He said he got like 60% right. But guess what? They said, you failed this interview, but we want you to come back. There's another position for a manager, and we'd like you to interview for that role.
Wow.
Guess what? Was it the suit? I did.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because that matters.
Yeah.
You take that more serious.
Yeah, and he had the look
That's
of a
what I
manager
mean.
at that point. You know?
All right. Right.
That's interesting.
So what advice, before we close out, right? What advice would you give those out there, you know, like when they face that situation of going in an interview, like, you know, so like what would you tell them, like the basics?
The basics, I think try to look your best, 100%. You know, get your hair cut, shave, and definitely don't get you don't have to get the most expensive suit, but get a suit that definitely fits you. You know, if you got a skinny body, maybe the Euro suit goes. But sometimes if you're gonna like interview for a law firm, maybe a little loose suit goes, because that, you know, lawyers are older and they're not in with the style yet, right? The second is learn how to communicate. You know, I personally joined an organization called Toastmasters, so I can continue to present and maintain my skills sharp. And the last thing is build a portfolio. So get your resume. If you have another job and you have like good customer client reviews, print those out so that they have actual proof that you're backing up everything that you're telling them.
Right.
Right. So those three things, and I think you know, you're gonna be able to sell yourself. And don't forget about Star. Star is the place to go. You can
That's
you can research that, or you can hit me up at intra-views.com.
Nice. Well, thank you very much, man. Listen.
Thank
We're
you.
happy you came
I
by.
got one more question though.
Handle
Is it just for males or females as well?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a great question.
The
Because you see,
majority.
we're dear Brova, but they got a sister.
Facts. Right.
You know what's interesting? Here's where I'm going to get
There we go.
controversial. Really controversial. The girls are kicking our rear ends. There's more. My clients consist probably like 60 to 70% females.
Wow.
And it's the females that learn to check their ego and go seek the help.
Okay.
That's right.
And and because of that, it's gender neutral. You know, there's even some skill sets that I work on with the girls, where negotiations, where us guys are really good negotiators.
Yeah.
You know, if I tell Fernando, hey, you know, I'll buy that for $10, he'll probably 12.
Yeah.
You know,
30,
females, believe it or not, they'll say, oh, I'll take the $10. You know.
Yeah.
And they didn't know that I was actually probably willing to pay for 14. But if they had engaged in that negotiation, you know, that'll help them when they go. Negotiate their salary or negotiate their starting pay. So I do work on those skills as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once again. You're Giovanny Ramirez. You know where to reach him. Now listen to Dear Brother.
Only on Dear Brother.